March the 16th, 2022. Guys, tonight I want to talk about something that I think is very important, and it goes back for thousands of years, but this article is from yesterday, and it's talking about gold, and same thing's happening not only uh, about Russia, which is this article is about, but it's worldwide, and the major purchases are with the wealthy in the other nations. But there's been lately even middle class and lower class economic sections have been buying into gold and silver. And it's, in a way, if you look at it on the surface or the face value of the situation, silver has been fluctuating around $25 most of this year and a good bit of last year. I've seen it go up about $26. I watch the stock market each day, guys, because it is one of the signs of what's happening. And when you see a collapse there, it's going to spread like a tsunami around the planet. It is a sign of trouble, and it can be very quick, and we've seen a lot of trouble in the markets. But this article is biblical, and I'm going to get to that part. If you don't like that, listen to the first part at least. But what has happened, again, here, worldwide, first, the major purchases of gold, and they're talking about household purchases here, have increased because the value of the ruble in Russia, all the currency that's paper, is falling very quickly, the value of the dollar. I mean, the way you can tell is how much less is your check worth after you buy fuel now at the cost, and everything else, food, everything else, services, has gone up because of shortages. And to me, I think a lot of it is self-inflicted, if you understand what I'm saying. But a lot of people have said, well, the dollar is devaluating very quickly, and you see a lot of people that online that are promoting gold. You see it on TV too, not just online. And, you know, it's a hedge against the devaluating dollar. Well, everybody probably has a few silver coins, silver dollars that are about an ounce or so worth now, about $25 instead of $1, right? And some people are buying silver now at around that price, maybe a couple dollars more, because of the gold and silver distributors are going to make a couple bucks, right? Well, if you do that, then you have maintained that value at this point. If you bought in at 25, and if you did it years ago, much cheaper, then it's still at that value. It's not like the dollar in your back pocket or your check because of the cost of, again, inflation of fuel and food. That is really getting thin, right? Well, if you had that silver or gold and you knew the exact time to sell it before the collapse, then you may retain some value. It's really a hedge. Silver is something to protect your value of your, maybe not to make money, but just to kind of keep it at a level, right? But if you wait too late, if you wait to the collapse, it's going to be worthless. So timing will be critical. And if you're not sure of the timing, think about now. If you're stocking a little silver, a little gold, it doesn't matter how much, because it's going to become absolutely worthless and cursed. And as the Bible says, the stumbling block of your iniquity. And iniquity is sin. What does it mean by that? That is what causes you to trip and fall into that iniquity, is silver and gold. But at the time that was written, it's in 4 different verses of 4 different books of the Old Testament. And in Ezekiel, they didn't have paper currency. They didn't have the dollars. It was silver and gold. If it was written today, then they would say silver, gold, dollars, Bitcoin. Because the first thing that will go down is most of all the Bitcoin, because when they get ready to do this, or whether it's a cyber attack from another nation or wherever that takes down the internet, of course, the first thing you're going to lose is any type of Bitcoin at that point. If you can't hold it, even now the banks in the U.S. are saying, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. and just one glitch, one hack. And there's a lot of scams out there. Now, what has happened today, Bitcoin has decided to go by the regulations of the banks here in the U.S. In other words, I did a video a few weeks ago maybe about now the U.S. is looking at turning everything into a digital currency, and I warned you about the effects of that, how it would control everything you purchased, and it would be the amount you had on your digital card or whatever, your EBT card, would be determined by your social credit score and your social media score. And every word you've ever said on any of the platforms, and AI will scan it back to an infinity and backwards, okay? You will, all of that will be held against you. So remember that. But what you want to realize is that if you're one of these people that have the large amounts, which most of us don't, including myself, then you have put all your eggs in one basket. And what will happen is, and let me back up a moment. Say if you go to one of the brokers online and you buy some silver coins that are 1 ounce. I think they're like, again, up $25 to $27, whatever, and it's been floating around that price for a while. In other words, maintaining the value. But if in most of them have a place there where you can sell it back, and they will only make a couple of dollars, what they call below spot value. Well, once it hits the fan, that's going to be shut down, because they will understand at that point, the people that are offering to buy it back, that it is now worthless. So if you've got it, you better know the exact moment. You know how fast the stock market can change. You better know that moment when to, even if you have to take a couple dollars loss on per ounce or whatever you're selling, gold or silver, you will lose it all. I'm going to continue this article, but timing is everything. And if you're thinking about, you're saying, well, I can time it, I can watch and I can time this. No man knows that date. If the man knew, he would not let the thief in if he knew that time when it was coming. No man knows but our Father in heaven, not even Christ. So what I would do if I were you, and I have a couple of old silver dollars that are just kind of kept because they were cool. And I think, again, $25 an ounce. I may get rid of those, and if it's, I make $100 off of it, buy some survival food, or buy some food, rice and beans that you can go get now at the store very inexpensively. And some people are sealing them in the air sealers and putting them in 5-gallon buckets, just enough to get you through, or how much you think it's going to take to get you through, and not have to be so concerned about the timing of cashing this in for something of value, because once that hits, and please listen to me, it's over. And in the Depression, guys, I hope none of us remember it, unless you're very old. The Great Depression, when that happened, Black Friday, the government took everyone's gold and silver, forced it away from us, bought it at very cheap levels, but you didn't have a choice to keep it or sell it. If they knew you had it or they searched your place, then you sold it at their price. They took it back. But when it happens this time, it's going to be useless to anyone, even the governments. They probably won't realize it because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity, but you don't have to be a part of that. Now, we got to remember the sources of this article, that we're dealing with Reuters, and we're also dealing with the central banks, and in this case, Russia's central bank. But they're all kind of in lockstep if you pay attention to what's happening. It says, currently households' demand for buying a physical gold in bars has increased, driven in particular by the abolition of value-added tax. Guys, they call it VAT. It says, And what that does is value-added taxes, if it goes up in price, if I'm not mistaken, one of you guys that does this, then your taxes go up also. They remove that, and I think that's what it is. But anytime you remove any kind of tax, it's going to make it more enticing to purchase that product, whether it's gasoline, gold, silver, food, whatever. So that's what they're saying that started this rush. But remember, we got a war there. And going back, February the 28th, the central bank, this is Russia, raised the key rate from 9.5 to 20% as the ruble crashed to record lows amid the Kremlin's so-called special operation in Ukraine. The announcement is a flip-flop from a February announcement that the financial authority will resume gold purchases after commercial banks were hit with Western sanctions in response to the invasion. And the banks are saying with the goal of diversifying the central bank's reserves, at the moment there's no sense in building up reserves in gold. It's like the banks here or the government telling us, oh, no, you don't need to do that. But could it be that plus maybe every government does not have all that gold they say they do? Who knows? Again, they said who added that the banking sector's structural liquidity deficit had contracted to under 4 trillion rubles, which is 36 billion US dollars, down from 7 trillion. That's the effect that all of this is having on everyone. Now, again, I think here it's self-inflicted. Before the rush into gold, many wealthy Russians, again, this is worldwide, have been purchasing luxury items such as watches and other jewelry in order to defend against the ruble's tumble. Same as silver, like we were talking about. While cryptos, key, were also purchased aggressively, there's little insight into who or how much Bitcoin Russians currently own. It's hard to see. But with the regulations coming up now, starting in we're going to have a U.S. crypto, and Bitcoin has now agreed to go along with the U.S. banking sector to develop it. They're going to step right into it. So that will be the one that survives. That will be the EBT card that's coming. Will be Bitcoin. The rest will be taken down. All will follow. All will fall. All of the banking sectors will collapse at the same time, especially if there's some form of electronic blackout, whether it's web or everything, grid and everything. But then what I see coming will be the governments and the banks around the world coming to our salvation with their new digital control crypto. Do you understand? They're saying that analysts would suggest that the gold purchases will help reduce the amount of cash in circulation and help with banks' liquidity. In lieu of funding via gold purchases, since they've stopped that, Russia's central bank has been providing liquidity to banks through more conventional operations, such as holding daily repo auctions at lending institutions. So far, that has proven sufficient. Where is the gold? Who's hoarding it, or is it really there? Now let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 7. That's commonly called the day of the wrath of the Lord. Guys, if you don't see what's going on around you now, realize how close we are to that day of the wrath, then you need to wake up. You need to do it very quickly. And Ezekiel, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, this is a prophecy given to Ezekiel. Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord God unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. He knew that Israel would be spread, the 12 tribes around the planet, and the Gentiles, the four lands, four corners. That's commonly the four corners of the entire planet. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. because the nations are in bad shape. And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense the ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God. Guys, this is important. An evil, and only evil, behold, is come. Only evil. Is that what we're seeing? Why? Because he's recompensing it. We're seeing evil, and that's going to be paid back. Now, are you protected? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the understanding? Treat everyone as you want to be treated. Take care of everyone you can. And an end is come, the end is come, it watches for thee, behold, it is come. The morning is come up unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land, that the time has come. The day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. Think about the wars, the abortions. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all of thine abominations. And mine eyes shall not spare, neither shall I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee, and you shall know I am the Lord that smiteth. Behold the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor any of theirs, neither shall there be wailing for them. Guys, talks about in the Bible, both the root and the tops. The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For the seller shall not return to that which he sold, although they were yet alive, for the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. Now is the time to make the move. Turn whatever you have into something you can keep your family alive with. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. They can't stand that battle. They can't stand up in that battle. And they know it. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. That's what we're seeing reports every day if you pay attention to the right sources. That famine is coming around the world very quickly with all the sanctions. And China has shut down all of its exports now. Millions are locked down. And when China shuts down all its exports, it's only a matter of weeks before the entire world chain collapses. He that is in the he that is in the field shall die with a sword, and he that is in the city. How many times have we talked about this? Famine and pestilence shall devour him. Mad Max. But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valley, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble. In other words, guys, if you get out of the cities, if you get out of that famine and pestilence, there's still going to be problems. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. What happened in the Great Depression? It was removed. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. The people were thinking and that they were wiser than God, that they knew the moment right before he came or before trouble hit. Now they have nothing to feed their children with. They're looking at that silver and gold, and now, but if the people in Ezekiel's days had been dumb enough to print money on paper, then that would probably have been included here. So it applies immediately now. Silver, gold, any precious metal, paper money is going to be useless all at about the same moment. Now, once the banks collapse, there may be momentary trading amongst a few other people that are still trying to hold on to this gold and silver because they have so much invested in it instead of survival needs. Then it may last for a day or two, an hour or two, longer than the cash. And that's what people are hoping for. But do you know the day and time? Are you smarter than our Father? No, do it now. Things are moving very quickly, raging back and forth because he knows he has but a short time. He knows when this is going to happen, when the Lord comes back, and he wants to destroy as much as he can up to that point. Rather burn it than lose it. And a lot of people are going to burn. He's coming back with fire. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore I have set it far from them. Guys, even on the U.S. dollar, the pyramids in the eye, they're abominations. And I will give it unto the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it, just as it was taken in the Great Depression. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it, and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. The land, guys, and the cities. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. He's allowing this evil back to evil. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients. Why? Because they've all sold out. The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Guys, it's time to get right, because none of us are. I don't care what you say. There's always something else you can do to improve it. First thing is make sure you're not foolish enough to have some physical product that will do you no good when this happens and your kids are looking at you with hungry eyes. You better do it now. This could happen tomorrow. It could be a month away. Nobody knows that day, but you have the warning. We're watching it. Guys, you watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.